Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afqer, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. So glad to connect with you again here through video. So yeah, I've been enjoying this format we've been doing, like mainly audio in the past, but yeah, it's also an enjoyable experience. So very happy to be here with you today. And also very excited that Lisa Barnett is with us on the show. I think this is the second time she joins us. The last time it was several years ago. And really, it was quite an amazing experience, like the information, the wisdom that she shared and the guidance that she shared about getting information and guidance from the Akashic Records and how it can really guide us into our day-to-day life, and also in embodying our, if you can call it, our purpose or mission in life and be in service. And this can be different from one person to another. It's not necessary like if we see someone very known being in service in a kind of way that we need to be to do the same thing. It's everyone has their own unique path and their own unique way of expressing their purpose and their mission here. And yeah, so very excited that she's here with us today. And today will be about your unique soul plan in your Akashic record. And so we'll be talking about that, and also we'll be taking questions. So for those of you who are on the Zoom app, you can raise your hand. I think you click on the three dots and you will find raise hand. Or you can type in the chat box on Zoom app. And also, if you are watching on the live call page, which is yourdivineuniqueness.com/live, there is also a question box where you can type in your questions. And before we start, I would love to share with you a little bit about Lisa. So Lisa Barnett is the internationally recognized #1 best-selling author of The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records, and From Questioning to Knowing, 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life. Her brand new third book, Your Soul Has a Plan, Awaken to Your Life Purpose, will be available in the fall of 2022 on Amazon. She is the founder of the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, where she has taught thousands of students worldwide to access their personal soul library to receive wisdom, guidance, and support to transform their life. And yeah, so that's Lisa. Welcome to the show. We're happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back with you again. I think it really has been years, which have,
Yes.
flown by in such a crazy way.
Yeah, but really happy that you're back and that we're able to connect again here on the show. And yeah, so I shared a little bit about you and your work through your bio, but I would love if you can tell us more about the kind of work you do and also about the Akashic Record School that you created.
Yes, of course. So just quick recap about what the Akashic Records are, because I know over all these, 30 years that I've been working in this field of the Akash, people have not been familiar. And I know they're so much more familiar now than they were even 2 or 3 years ago. But the Akashic Record is the recording of your soul's journey through all time-space continuum. So everything you have ever been or done is recorded and stored in this energetic field that we call the Akashic Records or the Akasha. And you have not only your own personal library, each person has a collection, so it creates a library, if you like to imagine it that way, but you have your own set of Akashic record keepers, these beautiful divine beings of light who are in service to you. And so what I have been gifted to be able to do is to access this information for other people. Of course, I do lots of readings and work with many, tens of thousands of clients over the last 30 years. But the record keepers many years ago actually asked me to start a school. And they said, it is time to bring this ancient wisdom back to humanity, because it was pulled away from and literally hidden from humanity for almost 1,000 years. And so, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, they said, it's time. We're heading into this new age of Aquarius. We are moving into a new golden age. It's time to create a new earth, and having access to your own Akashic library is so useful. And so I started a school. I teach people all over the world. I actually even have a online Akashic Record workshop coming up it starts September 19th and runs for 3 weeks. And I teach people the 5-step wisdom prayer system that I was given from the Akashic Record Keepers in order to help teach people to access their own soul's plan, their own soul guidance, really so that we can start to transform our life with greater ease, make new choices, understand what's the highest and best, decision for me to make around a certain subject, or helps us understand a lot of our personal relationships, because we have so many challenges with our personal relationships as humans. So all of this information is stored in your Akashic Record, and it really truly is accessible if you learn how.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And my question about the Akashic Records, because it has the information about our path and can give us many guidance that will help us with our choices in life. But when we access the Akashic Records, we need to be more like a guidance through the theme that we're experiencing, or and we will still have like free will into making decisions in the details, or is it like more details just showing us the path where we need to go next?
What the record keepers always say is that we come to this planet, we choose to be human because we want to have that free will. We always want to have choice. And so choice is never taken away from you. And the interesting thing is that before you're born, you write a whole plan. You make all sorts of decisions on what you want to, what you want to do, the people you want to support, the people you want to even have challenges with, so that you can learn from those challenges and grow as a soul. And the gifts and talents you want to bring back to humanity. And most of these gifts and talents are things that you have honed in many other lifetimes. So, say for me, I knew that I had come back to be a healer, and that I had been a healer in many different lifetimes, that I had been even like an acupuncturist, that I had been a hands-on healer, that I had been different types of healers, that I had been a teacher and shared ancient wisdom in other lifetimes. And so when I decided to come back to Earth at this time in history, one of the commitments I made, one of the plans I wrote in my overall soul plan, was to bring some of these gifts back of being able to heal people, being able to access the Akashic Records, being able to step into the information of being a teacher, a spiritual teacher. And so because I've done that in numerous other lifetimes, it was much easier for me to remember that, to recreate that, to learn again. Of course, it's a process through practice. It's been a lifelong journey for me of remembering and relearning, etc. But we always have free will. And the interesting thing is we write this whole complicated plan. We come to Earth, we have total amnesia. We have no idea why we're here, right? And so most of us are kind of struggling along thinking, what's my purpose? Why am I here? And many of those answers are in your Akashic Record, but you get to choose how you want to deal with that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as you talked about accessing our gifts that we had from past lives and also the ones from this life, um, so sometimes like when we try to connect to that, we try like from the mind perspective, try to understand first how we can embody that. So from like, what will be your advice on how can we approach that? Because approaching that can be different from one person to another.
Right, of course. We are all such unique souls, right? So the record keepers always say, most of us have had, if you're interested, honestly, in spirituality, most of us have had 300, 500, 800 lifetimes here on Earth alone, not including all those other realms and dimensions. We're all starseed. We've all lived in other planets, planes, and dimensions. And so we have lots of information and gifts and talents. But when we come back here, we do make choices, because if you say, okay, I've had 600 lifetimes, we can't bring every bit of information forward. It just doesn't work as a human with a brain. And so we say, I wish to bring these gifts and those gifts, right? So we may say, I want to be a teacher. I want to write some books. I want to share information or wisdom. I want to, offer classes, say. And so we would really pick those lifetimes that we have done that and kind of connect that into the life, the body that you have now. So then we say, okay, it's important that I pick a body and even often an ancestral lineage that can access some of these gifts, maybe that can be clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, that can access some of the wisdom that we would like to share. So our soul's plan that we write before embodying is very complicated and often includes our physical body, our ancestral lineage, how we can access some of these subtler gifts, some of our clairs like clairvoyance or clairaudience. And then of course, we have free will. So even if you had a reading with me, say, or learned to access your own Akashic Records by taking a workshop, you still have choice. Maybe you ask a question about what is my purpose, and your record keeper say, well, you have a few purposes, and one of them is to say, be a healer, to start a school. And you think, I don't really want to do that. That's not what I'm enjoying in my life right now. Say you're in your 30s or something, and you have a family, and you think, I'd rather just focus on my family and raising my children and having fun with my, young family. And that's perfect. You get to choose. That's the free will part. And you can say, not now, but maybe later. And so maybe when you're 40 or 50, you say, now I'm ready. My kids have grown and I'm ready to go down that path of being the teacher or, starting a school or writing a book or whatever that might be for you. And so our soul's plan includes a variety of gifts and talents that we can often connect with at different, times in our life. Right? So sometimes you have a purpose to be a parent, and that truly is what it's about at that, those 10, 20 years of your life. And then some of the other talents may come before the children or after the, family has grown, right? So we have a lot of flexibility. The record keepers always say, there really is no kind of right or wrong about the timing. That's all very personal to us. And so I think it's important that we know nothing is written in stone. Even your soul plan is still a plan you can follow or not. You can pick certain parts of it and follow certain aspects and leave other aspects behind because maybe it doesn't sync up with who you really are in this life. But having access to that information really gives you conscious choice, which is a huge empowerment tool.
Beautiful. And I love that you mentioned that we can access like different talents as like with time, because many times when we know the different talents that we have access to, we just want to have them all at once right now. But it can be overwhelming if because sometimes we need to go through some experiences and go step by step. So we can really bring like the most of it here to our human experience.
Yes, absolutely. And, I always think it's so important that people realize, it's kind of that idea of fame, like becoming famous overnight. Well, if you ever asked that person who became famous overnight, they had been working on their path, whatever that might be, whether it's a movie star or an athlete. They'd been working on their project, their talent, their work, for most of them, sometimes, all of their life, for their last 30 years or 20 years. And so it really, really is a process. That's why I tell, my story, which is I was very awake when I was 3, but what was I going to do with it then? I knew I was in a body and I had a bigger purpose, but I first had to learn how to talk and, go to school and do all of those things. And so I literally started studying spirituality when I was kind of old enough at 14 to read adult books, to start to go to the library or the bookstore and get regular, books that were not kids' books anymore. And so I started studying in high school, and I went on and studied philosophy in college. And, I studied for many years before I ever did anything else about it. I learned and kind of was like, oh, that makes sense. I kind of knew that, but now it's validated. I knew that I had lived many lifetimes, but my parents didn't believe that. I didn't know anyone who believed in reincarnation back then. And so, I needed to read many books that talked about reincarnation. I studied Buddhism and Hinduism to start to understand that there are some big teachings about reincarnation and the fact that we live many, many, many lives. And so it's always a process. Even if we're born awake, like I was, knowing I had a bigger purpose, it still took me a lifetime to kind of figure out what to do with it, right? To learn how to heal again, to actually be able to access the Akashic Records. Many of these things didn't happen till I was in my 30s and even 40s. So it's a process. And I think the reason that the record keepers are kind of energetically bringing that through so strongly today is because I know a lot of my students and my clients will say, my gosh, I'm 40 or I'm 50 or I'm 60. And, I haven't become the healer I'd like to become, or I haven't written that book or started that business or whatever it might be for you. And the record keepers always say, it's never too late. We have many purposes, not just one. And that's, part of the interesting thing about understanding your whole soul plan, because part of your purpose is to learn and grow, to heal old karmic patterns, to unravel from old energies, to get rid of some of our own filters and triggers that can send us, down odd rabbit holes in our lifetime. So it's about becoming more conscious, raising our vibration, being loving and compassionate, being able to be forgiving. And all of those aspects of being human are so important to help us raise our vibration, raise our consciousness, so that we literally can create this new fifth dimensional Earth that we're all working on creating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really beautiful. I love it. And maybe in the beginning we are impatient and like I said, we want to have it all, but with experience, we learn how to enjoy like the unfolding of each talent on its own time. And yeah, I really love how you express that. And also I have another question related to being in service, especially like many from the spiritual community, they have difficulties creating abundance while being in service to others. Like, how do you see that from the Akashic Records perspective? Is it something that's we agreed upon, like collectively, or how do you see that?
Great question. So what the record keepers will often say about kind of lack, or, lack of abundance, lack of money, that kind of monetary abundance, is that in many, many different lifetimes, we have been very religious. Maybe we've been a priest or a monk or a nun, and we've taken vows of poverty. And so we have basically said and believed in many, many lives that we were not supposed to or even allowed to take money for our spiritual gifts. And so if you know anyone who has ever actually been a priest or a nun, they take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. And they say, I will not take money for my spiritual gifts. And so these old vows are interesting, just like some old soul contracts and old vows. Energetically, it's like signing a contract saying, I promise never to take money for my spiritual gifts. And that can energetically be stuck in our field. And so that old energy, those old beliefs, and then interestingly, there's often people who reinforce them in one way or another. Sometimes it's because we've grown up in a very, say, religious family where they really believed, and go to church every Sunday and say, you don't get to take money for your gifts. And so it's really not a truth. The record keepers say, we are here to be abundant beings. The universe is abundant. Just look at a tree with thousands and thousands of leaves, or the millions of, blades of grass in a field. It's abundance is the natural way of the earth and of the universe. And we've come to be abundant beings. And it is our right to share our gifts and receive an exchange of energy. In our world today, that exchange of energy comes in the form of money, right? Long time ago, hundreds of years ago, it might have been a chicken or a cow or a meal or something else, right? Maybe somebody would sew for you or come in and help you to build your house, right? So in many other times, we received exchange of energy in many different ways. Now it's money, right? It's simple, it's easy, we all use it. And so what I often will do in the Akashic Record, and we can do some of this today, is to clear, release, really delete these old vows of poverty that we've taken, some of the soul contracts we've made with groups to not take money or really receive that exchange of energy for our spiritual or for our gifts in period, And so we can go into the Akashic Record, which is part of the quantum field. So when I go into the Akashic Records and I teach my students to do this, we're really moving outside of time and space into the quantum field. And so we can actually heal things from other times or places, if you think of it linearly, but it's all happening in that moment in the quantum field. So we can go back and pluck out some of those old vows of poverty and release them to be recycled for your highest good now.
Yeah, that will be very, very powerful. And do you feel maybe it's good to do the process now?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
So so what I'll do is, and the other thing Yeah, I see a couple people writing in the chat also. Can we past life clearing healing of trauma, please? And there might be a couple of other things in there. Oh, could you do a throat clearing and heart opening? So let me open the Akashic Records and bring us all into this energetic field together, so you can all receive the energy healing with kind of this added grace of your record keepers being called in to help you clear them, whatever it is we're working on. So perfect. Let me just look really quickly through. Good. All right. And if there's any other little clearing healing requests, if you want to type that into the chat, I see it on the Zoom chat. Social wounds that contribute to anxiety, fear of being in body. Yep. So let's just do a nice group clearing. That's always wonderful. Okay. All right. So if you can, if you're in a place that's quiet and you can just sit back and close your eyes for a moment, let's all do that. And we just drop down into our sacred heart center, which is really more up where your high heart is, right? Right about where my heart necklace is, right there around your thymus, our sacred heart. And we open and let that expand a little bit further. And I like to get nice and grounded and centered. It helps your body feel comfortable while we're doing this expansive quantum Akashic work. So let's just connect to Gaia right through our feet. I like to grow some nice roots from my feet chakra all the way down into the earth. And then the record keepers always suggest a tripod grounding system. So your 2 feet and a nice grounding tail is very helpful. Big grounding cord from the base of your spine all the way down to the center of the earth. I like to see it wrap around the core of the earth, just holding us solidly grounded as we do this expansive work today. And we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akasha available to us today. Please help us. We lay our multi-dimensional hearts open to divine healing. And help us to release all resistance as we are open to receive the highest and best Akashic healing for us today. We give great thanks for your divine love and support on this journey today. Create a beautiful column of energy around everyone all over the world. So wherever you are, I often see this kind of silvery blue column of light around the earth and connecting into the beautiful source quantum field of the Akash. And we invite our own personal Akashic record keepers to step forward for each and every one of us to support us in this healing right now. And of course, if you're listening to the replay, right now is always this moment right now. And so it's perfect. The energy is always here and active to help to heal and clear and release old energies, beliefs, and stories that no longer serve us. So let's just start with the vows of poverty, as that's what we started talking about. So we ask our record keepers to go back through the quantum field, all time space continuum on this planet, And we gather all of the vows of poverty, chastity, or obedience we've taken in any and all lifetimes. And the way I see it, it's like the record keepers create a nice kind of pile of these vows. They look like scrolls, like an old parchment scroll. That's the way they show up for me. There's again, our clairvoyant images are not, right or wrong. That's how I receive the information. That's the image I get. So if you're seeing something else, that's all perfect too. If you see nothing, that's all fine also, right? But I see a nice little bonfire at the moment of vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience that we have taken in many different lifetimes here on earth. And so they set them afire. And the beauty to me of fire is that it just releases that energy and allows it to be recycled for your highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Beautiful. And of course, after kind of clearing, releasing, deleting energy, we always like to fill up with our highest Akashic wisdom and light that we can hold after we've let go of something that no longer serves us. And so we continually ask the record keepers just to keep filling us up with our highest gold Akashic light and wisdom. So you may kind of get both of that energy, one, the clearing, releasing, and then that filling back up again. And so I see clearing of the heart chakra. So that's always a great thing to do. I find so many of us, especially it's been a challenging few years. And so there's been a lot of loneliness and kind of that more overly active separation where we feel like we've been separated from people that we love, or we feel maybe like we've lost friends but haven't found new friends yet, new soul family members, right? Because so many of us have been isolated over the last few years. So we're just going to work on the heart, the fourth chakra heart, the high heart, to open and expand them to create this beautiful sacred heart. So the high heart, which is up by where your thymus is, the regular heart chakra, your fourth chakra, we're going to do clearing of wounds, of pain, of stuffed energy. A lot of times we suppress our emotions. We don't really want to feel that sadness or that loneliness or any of that. So we just kind of stuff it down, and then it gets stuck. So we want to just clear, release, delete all of that stuck energy in our fourth chakra and any of that which may be in our high heart. Often that can be kind of a spiritual wounding also. So we want to clear, release, delete any and all of that we can let go of right now. And then we invite that we run a lot of golden energy through the heart chakra and through the high heart also, just beautiful, your highest vibrational energy that you can hold. We run that through these two chakras, and then we invite them to kind of open into a ball, because they actually are usually a tube. And so we open them into a bigger kind of ball shape and merge the high heart with the fourth chakra. So it becomes a beautiful, large, sacred heart that really goes from almost our third chakra up to our throat. We have this huge, glowing, spinning ball of love energy. Good. That looks beautiful. Okay, good. And then family lineage wounds. That's good. So let's do some energy clearing of the family lineage. I'm just going to ask our record keepers. So each of you has your own set of record keepers. So we ask each of your personal record keepers to clear that which no longer serves you, whatever the ancestral story may be. Some of it has to do with money, lack, poverty, some of that energy. If you have to work really, really, really hard just to survive, we want to kind of get rid of all that ancestral. And we also want to clear any kind of abuse stories that run in ancestral lineages also. So from you, kind of back through your mother and your father, and then really it goes back and kind of breaks into many pieces as it goes back through your ancestral lineage, back to the first two people who started your lineage, your family lineage, your ancestral lineage. So releasing lack, releasing fear through the family, abuse, addiction, everything we can let go of in this moment. We ask our record keepers to work on everyone's specific kind of story back through the lineage. And make sure you continue to breathe. So I find that taking a nice deep cleansing breath and blowing it out can be very helpful to just let the body know it's moving through, it's going out. We want to release it through our whole auric field, because sometimes the energy processes more slowly through the aura, and then we feel it sometimes as kind of a sadness or a tiredness, and it's all fine. It's not going to hurt you. It just is a little slower. But if you can consciously just blow it out, let it go. Good. Just ground it down into Gaia. She is willing to help us to release it also down through our grounding cord, down through our feet, through those roots, down into the earth to be recycled for your highest good. Beautiful. And we will fill everyone up again with our beautiful golden Akashic energy, light, love, the highest information and energy you can hold right now as we're doing this healing and processing. And then I see a request around the fear of being embodied. We can do some clearing around that. I know many of us as healers feel that because we've been killed for being healers. We've been, hurt, harmed, tortured, etc., for speaking our truth, for doing our healing work, for teaching our wisdom. So we'll go again. Of course, all of this is in that beautiful quantum field of the all. So we ask the record keepers to come in and heal any and all of those past lives where we were killed, hurt, harmed, for doing our work, for sharing our gifts. Oh, and that's interesting. I'm kind of feeling that in my throat. And that reminded me somebody had asked for a throat clearing. So that seems to be coming up also. Okay. Too, right? Because often that's really the throat is about speaking our truth and feeling able to do that and not fear that we're going to get killed for it. So, so we'll clear the physical pain, the emotional pain, the trauma from all these lifetimes where we've been hurt, harmed, or killed for sharing our truth. And we will also do some work on the throat chakra, the fifth chakra also. So both levels of that. Don't forget to breathe. Great. Okay. And if you feel that in your throat, like coughing or anything, make sure you have some water, drink your water. Always very important to help to clear, release. As we do all this healing today. Good. Again, just filling us up with our highest Akashic light, wisdom, and information we can all hold. I'm just running a lot of beautiful golden energy through the fifth chakra also. All right. Ah. Good. Okay. Let me just quickly scroll through. There's a question about clearing manipulation and control of energy that seems to be around. Definitely a lot of that. A lot of that control, dark energy, different types of energy that don't want us to awaken, don't want us to actually create this beautiful ascension, moving into the fifth dimension with ease and grace. And so we just want to clear, release, delete any of that energy that is in any of our energy fields that we can release right now. And we ask our record keepers to send any entities or unembodied spirits that do not serve us back to the light to be recycled for their highest and our highest good. So moving any of that out of our space. Beautiful. And I see our record keepers really guiding, leading many of these old entities or beings to the highest place for them, out of our field, really away from this planet, leading them home for their highest good. So that is always very beautiful. And a gift to them also, and a gift to us, right? To get these old entities or beings out of our space. Okay, and then I'm going to run some energy. I just see some getting kind of some irrational fears. You know what we're going to do? I was seeing that, and then just some different kind of left side, sciatica, different things energetically. So what the record keepers are suggesting we do for everyone, because of course, so many of us have different kind of stuck spots in our body. You know, I'll often find mine at the back of my neck or the back of my heart chakra, right? Our backside is that unconscious layer of information. So people cord us in the back, we get whacked in the back, we have old blocks and, you know, all of those back layers of our chakras. So, I'm going to do a healing around all of that. And then they're going to do some clearing of our energy channels before we kind of finish up with all of this today. So you may feel this. I'm starting at the back of our sixth chakra, and we'll do the back of the sixth, fifth, fourth, third, second, first. So I'm just going to go down through those back layers of each chakra, clearing out any of these kind of energetic plugs. They kind of look like old, almost plugs, for lack of a better word for it. Old unconscious stuck energy. So we're going to clear, release, delete all of that, recycle any and all of that energy for the highest good of all. So you may feel that as a buzz, or it just may feel like, oh, open. Whew. Yeah, that's how I kind of get it. It's like, oh, wow. That's always lovely. So, and especially the back of the sixth chakra, that's opening a lot of layers of consciousness for us. So that's very beautiful too. And in the back of our fifth chakra, so that we can, it allows all of our chakras to become more flexible, because they do open and close like the diaphragm of a old style camera. And when they're plugged or blocked, that kind of freezes the chakra. So when we start to clear some of that out, it lets our chakra system become more flexible, so it can expand and close at will, as is appropriate in any moment. So that's what we're doing. So I'm working, I did the sixth, we're working on the fifth now, so that our throat chakra can open, that we can easily and simply speak our truth with just clarity, honesty, and love. And the back of our fourth chakra, clearing all that. We already did a nice healing on the fourth chakra, so we'll just kind of focus on this back level of any other old pain that might still be stuck there, or any of that constriction or block in the back of the heart. Again, so that our heart can open with greater ease and expand and create the beautiful flow that is our birthright of pure love, pure unconditional love. And then down to the back of our third chakra, your solar plexus, we want that to open. There's a lot of creative energy in the third chakra. It's very much about creativity and creating and manifesting. So when our third chakra opens and blends with our heart chakra, that actually helps us to create and manifest our heart's desire. So it's a very powerful, important kind of tool to learn to work with. You know, a lot of these tools I actually do teach in my online workshop. So I'll talk a little bit more after we finish this healing. Clearing our third chakra, the back, unconscious layers of that, and then also the unconscious layers of the second chakra, a lot of the emotions that get stuck and blocked in our second chakra. Clearing, releasing, clearing that out. And down into our first chakra, so that we can actually ground and be more embodied in our physical body. And it is important for us to be able to ground and embody all the way down to the first chakra and down into our legs and our feet, so that we can, again, activate our third and fourth chakras to create and manifest in this dimension, in this earth plane right now. And that dimension may be the fourth if you're in that space, or the third if you're still in that space, or the fifth as we move into that space. But we're taking our body with us. So we want to create and manifest in the dimension that our body is in, and not in the ethers, because that does not affect the physical world. Right? So creating and manifesting here and now, very important. All right. And then I'm just going to kind of open that first chakra, get that grounding cord flowing more clearly and strongly for everyone, and the channels down from our first chakra, our hips, our legs, down to our feet, opening our feet chakras again, so that we can literally create this beautiful tripod grounding system down through our legs, opening our feet chakras, roots from our feet down into Gaia, that grounding cord from the base of your spine, from the back of your first chakra, big kind of energetic grounding cord straight into the earth, with the intention that we are fully embodied in our beautiful, vibrant, healthy physical bodies right here and right now. And so it is. Beautiful. We thank the Akashic Masters for all of this healing, and we close and lock the records for now. And so it is. Blessed be. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was powerful. For me, it felt like at some point, like the energy feels like more like expanding and also feeling lighter, like mainly because of the release. And it's like there was some energy like heavy, and it felt like some kind of relief to experience that. So
yes,
thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I love that, because people always say, I feel lighter. And I always think, okay, that's interesting. But it really is. We're clearing so much old garbage out of our field that we do. We're like, woo, I just lost 10 pounds. Nice,
Yeah.
It's all that old stuff that we don't even know it's there. So much of it's in our kind of our unconscious levels and layers. And and I'd love to, because I did mention that I do have, and someone else, I saw a couple questions about learning to access your own Akashic records, and I'm going to send you a link for that so that you can put it on the page. But I have a live workshop coming up starting September 19th, and it will be 9 2-hour sessions to take you deep into the records. I always say it's actually very simple with my 5-step wisdom prayer system, but it does take some time and patience. Like we talked about in the beginning, these are paths, these are practices. We don't just pop in a minute and be like, oh, I've got access to the records. I mean, you almost can, but those are the processes that I teach, along with many other healing tools and processes to make it easier for us to access our own Akashic records. So I look forward to having some of you in my upcoming workshop starting September 19th.
Wonderful. And the link will be added to the replay page later. And also we are offering a free gift. It's let me open the page. Oh, it's refreshing.
Yeah,
just a moment.
So
I just wanted to share the link for it. Everyone, you can either like click on the free gift button, which is on the webcast page or on the replay page, or you can go to the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Lisa, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Lisa, LISA, and it's reclaim past life wisdom meditation. So can you please share about the gift?
Absolutely. So, I talked a little bit about when we write our soul's plan, we pick different past life gifts to bring into this life now, but most of us are pretty oblivious to what those might have been. So in this guided visualization, I take you on a lovely journey to literally go back and reclaim many of those gifts energetically and bring them into your physical body right now. So it's very fun, and it's a meditation you can do many times to go back. I want to reclaim a gift about being a healer, or being a speaker, or being a parent, or starting a business. Whatever it is for you, you can go back again and again. And I did this myself the first time the record keepers asked me to write a book, and I said, oh, who am I can't even spell, so how am I going to do that? And that's really where this kind of meditation came from. They said, go back into these different past lives and reclaim that information of when you were an author, when you were, could write with ease, all of those. So I go back again and again and kind of reclaim this energy. So in this guided visualization, you can do that for yourself with whatever you're working on right now for your your life purpose.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah.
And yeah, so everyone, I highly recommend that you get the meditation. And again, you will find it on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Lisa, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Lisa, LISA. Or you can click on the free gifts button, which is on the webcast page or later on the replay page. Nice. And we have a question about the classes from Vince. Do we get healing in those sessions from your upcoming class?
Yeah, great question, Vince. You know, absolutely. So in this 18-hour class, right, it's a deep dive into the Akashic Records. About 12 of the hours are the teaching, learning my 5-step wisdom prayer system, practicing doing processes and exercises and asking questions. And then literally there's another 6 hours of time that's more about doing some healing for you, answering your questions. You know, a lot of times people have this experience, I want to know about that, you know, I experienced this. And so people have a lot of personal questions about accessing the records or their experience in the process. And so instead of doing just the 6 days of class workshop training, I've added 3 more days for questions, for integration, for me to do some healing for the group. And so that is all part of this 18-hour. I kind of squished it into 3 weeks, 3 times a week for 2 hours a day. It's a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday workshop. So yes, and you will definitely learn how to do some healing, and you will get some healing also from me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Absolutely.
And, thank you, Vince, for your question. And yeah, so Lisa, really thank you so much for the time you spent with us, for the guidance, wisdom, and also the healing. It was really, really powerful. So very grateful to you.
Thank you. Absolutely. So I look forward to seeing many of you in the class. I will get that link to you really quickly today. Yeah. And so thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this group. And the group healing is always so powerful. So thank you for showing up and being part of this group healing. I appreciate all of you.
Yeah,
thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you again, Lisa. And also thank you so much, everyone, for your presence today. Thank you for your questions. So we couldn't take all the questions. We have others on the webcast. But yeah, so during the season of August, it's we do 1 hour calls. So this is why. But next season, it will be again 1 hour and a half. And yeah, so thank you again, everyone, for co-creating with us this experience, and also bringing these energies and the aspects that Lisa works on during the healing, because that's really a co-creation. Like, your presence helped to experience that. So, and also thank you for everyone who is listening to the replay. And yeah, the link for the workshop will be added to the replay page, and also the free gifts link also. So yeah, again, thank you so much, everyone. And sending you so much love, and then we see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.